Don't get caught. I was like, I ain't gonna say nothing, you know? So he hires his girl, and then he hires I'm talking 6 or 7 of his USC frat boys. And so
use your blood to paint a portrait on the canvas. Cut you up so bad, I bet you wish I brought a bandage. Fuck what she thinks, I'm only in it for the pussy. On top of that, she's got a real nice tushy. Our foreplay begins with us and rapping tootsies as we stare at each other while we're playing footsies. She's a 10 and I'm feeling like a bitch, feeding me shrimp, steak and cheese off a plate. She says, are you really wanted in each and every state? Asking me way too many fucking questions, kind of me fake. Just a second ago, I was a player, now I got an undercover cop tied in my dungeon lair. Keep her there, well I'm thinking in the shower. Gotta do this fast before I get caught in an hour. Decide to ditch her body in the Netherlands. Stupid fucking pigs will never learn that I will always win. Somehow tricking everybody sick with my benevolence. Little do they know I got away thanks to the leather grip. This is madness, motherfucking madness. Mask on like a bandit, use it to my advantage. Use your blood to paint a portrait on the canvas. Cut you all so bad I bet you. Stay off the grid, a different bed right when I wake up. Tripping from the night before, slicing up that filthy whore. But still I go and eat my breakfast. Most important meal of the day, plus I'm in Texas. Gonna order reckless, everything is bigger so I'm with it. About to begin with some briskets. And I'll leave it.
I'm Lonnie Dangerous, and I grew up in Alaska. This is Dillingham Part Dos. I was out there hunting and fishing. I'm on the snow machine flying for miles. I'm out this bitch! I heard that it's home of the grizzly, the ferocious 5,000-pound bear, standing up to 12 feet tall. One guy I met said as a kid there he'd be in his garden and one would come up and he'd punch it in the nose and it ran away. So he told me that if I ever encounter a bear, punch it in the nose and it'll run away. Fuck that. I'm not UFC fighting a grizzly. So the town could have a story? Ah, yes. Black men come to village. Bears seem to love dark meat. My son wear his bones on hat. It feels a little racist. He screamed for hours. One grizzly bear came to my property at night. You know those big trash bins that the garbage truck comes up and it puts its arms in and lifts it back and throws it in there? He was tossing that around with one paw, just throwing it around, just playing with it, flipping it with one paw, just flipping it around. I'm inside watching this shit and I just started realizing the door only has a deadbolt on it. He could destroy it at any moment. If he ever got hungry, I'm living in Yogi's picnic basket. And you can't reason with a bear. Hey, I'm not the one who punches bears. I need a new phone. But look, they're working. It really looks like I'm all really doing construction. Oh, watch out. I'm on break. I'm supposed to be a worker who doesn't really want to work. Not that difficult. So I don't really want to work right now. What's up? I'm Lonnie Dangerous, and I grew up in Alaska. One time, my job sent me to a small village. It was right off the Bering Sea, and I was out there for a year, and the village is called Dillingham. You can't drive in. You can only fly in, and it's a small plane. A small village with no streetlights. It's a dirt road. A road, just one road. One store. No mailboxes. You have to go to the post office to get your mail. Neighbors are miles away. 70% subsistence, meaning 70% of your diet is whatever you grow or kill. I'm out there living like a savage. I grew out my beard and shit. I was a Boy Scout as a kid in Alaska, so the survival techniques kicked in. In Boy Scouts, we learned how to thrive in harsh environments. And it was kind of like muscle memory. I sprung into action. I jumped up and quickly called my supervisor. Nigga! She's a white lady, by the way. Nigga! What in the Halle Berry? They ain't got Uber flights? But it was cool. Beautiful summers. It was mostly Alaska Native people and me. It's hard to stereotype one guy. This one woman told me, you know what they say, once you go black, we only have one, so that's that. All right, let me try this again. Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Lying Dangerous, and tonight it's my story. And my story, the question tonight is, what part did religion play in your social activities? And I was just thinking that that when I was a kid, my mom told me that my dad told her that no matter what happens, he wanted to make sure that his kids were raised Baptist and baptized. So that was one thing that my parents tried to make sure that happened. And we traveled all over the United States as a kid. So I like to say that when we get somewhere that I feel personally that my dad did want us to be Baptist, but I also think that it was like a good networking ploy wherever my father would go. Like if we go somewhere and they're powerful people that he's wanting to network with, he would ask, especially if they're black, he would ask them what church they go to. Then we would go to their church or go to a church close by, and we introduce ourselves. I have to stand up and do this, and we get baptized, and it gets you into like, it gets you in with people, you know what I mean? So I had been baptized all over the United States, and when we got to Alaska, I think we were settling down from moving all around. So he took. Also, I think my dad's. I feel that my dad was bipolar, and that every now and then he would just run into people, and when he feels very social, and he would befriend them and invite them over, strangers and all kind of people. And I think that one time a guy came over to ask about joining their church, and then my dad invited him in. He's like, I got kids, and they're like, oh, we got a Sunday school, and I'm, oh, okay. And my dad signed us up, and that they'll be coming to pick you up Saturday morning, so be ready. And it would just happen like that. So I joined Sunday school. I think that Sunday school was on Saturday though. I don't know. It was church school, and then I joined usher board on my own. I had a friend that went to the same church, so you know, it was cool. Like we got to be on the usher board. I was telling someone that I got to wear the white gloves, and I got to like direct people into the place, and I get to pass the plate around and stuff. That was cool. And then I was in the choir. I think that I was part of the church that I went to was upper middle class black church. So like there was things that were very odd, but I also got, because I was in the church had a Boy Scouts that I joined. I remember that. And even in Sunday school, we would all go out on outings. We'd go to movies and stuff like that. But it was an upper class. I remember when we were kids, there was sometimes, I'm going to move up from this, but I remember sometimes when we're in Sunday school, some of the adults would say, don't act your color. You know what I mean? That was a thing, that stop acting your color. I thought that was weird. Also, like they would make fun of people that were poor coming in and dressed in poor clothes. And that was like a turn off for me, like, just personally. But then as I got older, I read all that, and I was still looking. So I started reading up on studying other different religions. So I got into the Nation of Islam. I was a follower of them for a while. Farrakhan came to Alaska, and we all like came out. It was nice. I studied Islam. Prayed 5 times a day, did all that, you know what I mean? And I studied Buddhism, and that would just bring me into like different social settings, you know what I mean? Like Fridays, you have to go to Juma. I checked out some a Buddhist place here. I have a friend that invited me to go there. He's still asking me to come on Wednesdays, and I'm not a religious person. I I don't know what I believe, and that's all right, you know what I mean? But I don't like anyone putting their religions on me, you know what I mean? Especially I was thinking that since I found out that I'm a descendant of King Ramses the Third, that I always like saying that, but that came before Christianity, you know what I mean? But also, when I was just thinking the other day, I was just thinking my personal that the dinosaurs had the planet way before us for a longer time than us, you know what I mean? That's not even like, it just shows human ignorance that's not even brought up in any of the religions, you know what I mean? Like, that's not even like that. That's like a big, it was here longer than us, so it would have a bigger part of it, you know what I mean, explaining stuff. But I guess like in human evolution, like it's whatever doesn't come before us, whatever we can't see, then it doesn't matter, it didn't exist. So you know what I mean, whatever. But I do like people that seek higher power, and I feel that my religion is love, you know what I mean? So I feel like I connect better with, well, I connect with everyone, but you know what I mean? Connecting also, like, I feel that in masses, there's energy and connecting on one thing. So like praying with people, I have no problem with. It's like good, and celebrating with people, and you know what I mean? Like I don't let it try to ruin who I am as a person. You know, I still want to celebrate with humanity, you know what I mean? But I would still like to have my own beliefs. And I like to go back to I like to be back. I'm part indigenous and the whole Egyptian thing, so I like to go back to the mind before I was put these colonized thoughts of that in my mind. So you know what I mean? Like I like to be free. You know what I mean? I'm descended from a living God. It's enough for me right there, you know what I mean? I don't have to say no more, that's it, you know what I'm saying? And then indigenous people, like, you know, like living off the earth and being peace with everybody and not trying to like get over on people and live proper, you know what I mean? Not take too much, live in moderation, you know what I'm saying? Just like Buddhists too. I mean, all of it, even Christ, like I want to live like Christ, like love and just like, you know what I mean? And then I want to, you know, be self-disciplined, just a good person, but I don't want anyone trying to tell me what I should be or how I should be or how I should think or who I should look after, you know what I mean? So I'll build with you as long as you're not trying to rain on my parade. I'm all open for it personally. But yeah, I have friends right now, like they're religious people. I don't mind it, you know what I mean? You do what you do, I do what I do. As long as you don't, I want to be like the Indian before you told him about Jesus. You know what I mean? Whatever he believed, that's what, you know. Just don't tell me about it. Those are yours. If anything about hate, I don't want to have to do with that. You know what I mean? I want to just... All right, so then I wanted to talk about stories that I don't talk about. And this one's about my grandma, Ruth Harvin. All right, so yeah, I don't talk about them because, you know what I mean, like I don't know. Okay, so I can only tell you what I know. Okay, so my grandmother on my mother's side, my mother's mother, her name is Ruth Harvin, or her name is Ruth Harvin, and Ruth Harvin was an orphan, or so what I know, you know what I mean? She came before me, so I don't know. Ruth Harvin was an orphan, and the rumor was that that Ruth's father was a white guy, and that he was not trying to have any black kids, and I don't know. I think it was like her mom was like a little, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? She's an orphan. And I guess she was sent from orphanage to orphanage and orphanage. And also, these are black stories. So I'm just telling you what I was told. And I'm going to tell you how I was told to me. And now, like, when I'm hearing it being retold in 2025, it gives me, like, I'm starting to, you have to, like, put pieces together to make it sense, but this is a story. So she was sent to orphanage to orphanage and orphanage and orphanage and abandoned. I think that when they first found her, she was left alone in a room, and the rumor at that time was that my grandma is deaf in one ear and hard to hear in the other. And I always laugh about it because now where I'm from, that makes sense. But like, there's no clinical term for hard to hear in one ear. But so she's deaf in one ear and hard to hear in the other ear. And they thought that, and it could be I don't know, a wise tale, but they were saying that as a baby she was left in an abandoned place, and the earwigs went into her ear and laid eggs in her ear, and that's how she got deaf. But I don't know. It's just what we was told. By the time I got here, she was a grandma. So, all right. So, I guess she gets taken to a foster family or an orphan. Somehow my grandma ends up in a place where she gets she builds a street family, like a different family. So then she goes out on her own, I guess. And my grandma also, because she's deaf in the ear and hard to hear in the other, it's not that she has a speech impediment, she just speaks like a person who can't hear, you know what I mean? But also, it's back in those days, maybe like the 20s and 30s, and I don't know if they had like a lot of hearing devices and stuff like that, but also my grandma is trying to pretend that she isn't deaf, you know what I mean? So she's becoming a master at saying, what'd you say? And having people talk up, and then she would just try to, and read lips or try to hear what she can hear out of it and make sense of it. And my mother said, and my aunt said that as she got older, she started having kids, and it would be because she's deaf, just deaf. You know what I mean? So men would take advantage of her all the time. They would wait till she would get paid, and they would beat her up and take her money. She would like to party and hang out and, just have a good time. And when they all get drunk, they would beat her up and take her money and just leave her. And my mom and my sister, my aunt, would say that that would happen a lot. And even when a man would like romance her just so they could get her a check and then, take it from her. And so they were poor a lot in their life. And one of the stories was that they became Jehovah's Witness. And when they became Jehovah's Witness, they were in with the group. And then I guess my grandma had 4 kids. Vay, Auntie, Fahim. Yeah, okay, 3 kids. She has 3 kids, 3 different dads, right? And they were having a birthday party. All of the dads left, so it's just, you know what I mean? So my grandma decided to have a birthday party for I think it was my aunt or my mom. And all the city kids came and partied, and when the church found out, they were kicked out and shunned. I guess that's what you call it, where no one talks to you anymore. So after her, and I always had a bad taste about Jehovah's Witness. And then all right, so I'm just trying to catch up the story. So one time, so my grandma had all this family, and one time one of the family members of the street family, she needed my grandma to watch her kids. Their kids, they became my cousins because we're all family. And one of them, Michael, he tried to poison my grandma for some reason. I don't know. So fast forward, my aunt was dating my uncle Richard, married my Uncle Richard. And my Uncle Richard had become a drug addict, but he used to play the drums for Grover Washington Jr. He's a good drummer, and he got on the dope. And then one day my aunt decided to leave him, and she went back to my grandma's house. And then she was hiding, so then she went out for a little while. When she went out, Richard, my uncle, came looking for her, and he was knocking on the door. And when he knocked on the door, my grandma can't hear it. My grandma couldn't hear it, and he kept banging on the door. So when she finally came to the door, when she was coming to the door, he just shot through the door. He shot at the door handle, and when he shot at the door handle, the other side, it shot the door, and then the other side of the door handle just went, and it went into my grandma's face. All the fragments of it went into his face and blew out. He came in the door, he's looking for my aunt, he's knocking on shit. He drags my grandma up the stairs looking for her, then he drags her back down the stairs, then he drags her out into the front yard, and he's kicking her and stomping her, and he left because my aunt wasn't there. So then my grandma had a stroke after that. You know, she was paralyzed on this side of her body for the rest of her life. And it was just like, it was all of a sudden. They never even caught him, never once, you know what I mean? But, yeah. And we moved her up to Alaska. She stayed for a little while. I remember like one time I was alone with her, and she was telling me how good, I don't know if she knew who I was, but she was like, "You're such a good man." I was like breaking down crying like, "Damn, grandma." Like, okay, she's gonna move so fast. That's why I hate topical conversations, because by the time I punch it up, we're off onto it. Then it's like later on, it's like French fries. You can't reheat it. It's dated. You know what I mean? But I wanted to chime in on this whole. First, it was 100 men versus one gorilla, and I think that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna pin him down? How do we count? Even if you did win, what's counting? You have to kill him? Is that what you're saying? Like hand to hand, all you guys kill him, so he's good until you automatically murder him? Because it's not like you're gonna pin him down. He's just gonna be like 1, 2, 3, you won. That's not. You know what I mean? So I don't think that one's like real. But then they said this one about 100 Americans versus 100 British people, and that's like the big thing on here. And I was gonna get to the other one, but yeah. And you know what I mean? I just thought it was the most comical thing ever. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and there's British people on here talking about like, yeah, you know, have you ever been to Liverpool, Manchester? Have you ever seen a British mum scowl at her child? Seriously, if you drink tea in the afternoon, you pose no threat to any of us. You know what I mean? And I don't, you know, let's not take nothing from, I don't know, I don't care where you're from. Let's not take nothing, but like, there's like an underlining thing that we have here called violence. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even like, it's something that's just bred into us. You know what I mean? It's something that you can't, you know what I mean? Like, we have to work on keeping it down. You know, if a person steps on your shoe, violence. If someone says something smart, even in this traffic, you know what I mean? Like, people you know what I mean? Fuck you. Like, we're all like on edge. Someone said it was because of the economy and how we live. We're all broken. Like, that could be, you know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? But like, it doesn't have anything to do with any of you. You know what I mean? And then they started bringing up other, like, maybe Russia. Like, maybe Russia. There's not, you know what I mean? I can't even think. You know what I mean? They're like maybe Japan and. I feel like it's not even worth talking about. You know what I mean? Like, no weapons, because they're like the first run. How are you gonna get your guns? Like, there's so much I want to say, but like, I feel like it's like a little kid threatening to beat me up, and then like I'm supposed to respond to that. Like, I don't know what you want me to say to that. There's no way. You know what I mean? Like this. But I just thought it was like ridiculous. Like, how would we even like? That's like. You know what I mean? Like, we have so many places. Can we bring prisoners too? Can we bring bangers? There's the homeless people. There's so many people that would just... For a point, I was just like, how about all the 100 Americans? Y'all just sit and I'll take this one. You know what I mean? Y'all sit, I'll handle these, and then we'll have a conversation. You know what I mean? You know, give me like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? If you drink tea or you say crumpets or anything like that, you're a non-factor, period. Okay, so we're moving on from that one. It's not even it's okay. And then I wanted to talk about this one about like, I seen it on here that some black girl had told white people that gingers are the black people of white people, and then like a flood of redhead people just went on the TikTok and were just so happy and enthused, and they want to thank, and then they want to tell us about how really we're similar struggles, and like there's so many things that I want to touch on, that there's so many facets of this issue. Number one, that I've realized that I used to get mad when like white people were racist, but I have realized that white people are mean to everyone. You know what I mean? Just because this just happens to be one thing that they can be mad at you and be hateful and throw hateful stuff, but they're just angry at everyone, and it's not any type of, you know what I mean? They prefer to be around white people, but when they're around white people, they'll find things that get on you about that too. And that's why all these redheads are coming out, because they've been abused by other white people. So they're so glad that like, that's why they feel that we have the same, that you don't have the same struggle. But I get it, because these white people are so mean to each other, to everyone. And it might not be you, but you get the gist of what I'm talking about. You know some white people that are rude and mean to almost everybody except a few people. And so that was weird. Then she was just joking. Number one, someone says she's serious, and even if she is serious, like, first of all, y'all don't listen to anything that we ever say. So it's weird that all of a sudden you said this and now you're just running with it. You know what I mean? And then someone reminded me that this is the same people who had a problem with Ariel, the mermaid, being black. You know what I mean? Like, she's redhead. So like, I see that there's like a thing here where like a kind of a disconnect. You know what I mean? Like, I want the good parts, but I only want them. I don't want you to have them. But also, I was thinking, because it kind of goes on this other thing that I was listening to the other day about these gingers. See, you got me calling them gingers. Redheaded people taking this and be accepting of it. It's just like white people who of other colors who like to say the N-word. Like, if we're not, long as you're also, when you see problems with black people, you stand up for them and you speak out on our behalf. When you see injustice, you stand up for black people and you do that, then maybe it's okay. But like, I don't want to like you, oh no, I'm black, but then when black issues come around, I never hear from you. You don't never say nothing. You never do nothing. So you're only there when it's good for you. I'm only here. I say the N-word, but then when N-words are in trouble, I keep quiet. I don't do anything. So like, I hope that it has an even balance where we can, when you won't be rude to black women when you see them, or you're not rude to black men when you see them, because now you're black, right? So you will never disrespect your people. You'll stand up for your people when you hear these injustices, because sometimes it gets real quiet, like crickets. When it comes I'm with AMIE, Amy. You've seen her in my videos many times. Remember how about that time you looked like Michael Jackson? Yeah. Do you remember that? No, yeah. When we went to
Do you remember the time?
That's what you did, too. I don't know why I thought you looked like, you said go straight.
Wait, in here.
Oh, I was about to say.
Did you take the elevator?
No, we just walked in, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You trying to kill me?
No.
Have me murdered? He's a murderer!
I don't remember taking the stairs.
No, because we went those ones right there, right? We went to those ones right there.
Yeah.
Look, she trying to get me lost. She trying to confuse me. Confuse me. Northern Lights.